The story begins in the year 1389, where Dream and his elder sister Death find themselves in a quaint tavern. They have entered the establishment with the intention of experiencing the lives of humans more closely. Dream and Death are members of the Endless Family, a group of 7 immensely powerful beings, each personifying different aspects of life. As they sit in the tavern, they overhear an intriguing conversation among the patrons. A man named Hob Gadling confidently asserts that people only die because it is expected of them. He boldly claims that he will never succumb to death. Intrigued by this proclamation, Dream and Death decide to test the man's resolve. They agree to allow Hob to live until the day he genuinely desires to die. Dream approaches Hob's table and proposes an arrangement. They will meet again in the same place 100 years from that day. Although Hob's companions perceive it as a joke, Hob takes the offer seriously and promises to be there. 100 years later, to Hob's great surprise, he is still alive and well. He meets Dream for the second time, filled with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Hob questions Dream's true nature, fearing that he might be a demon or a malevolent wizard. However, Dream assures him that his intentions are purely driven by his interest in Hob's life. Hob reflects on the tremendous changes that have occurred in the past century. The invention of the chimney and the handkerchief, which have revolutionized the way people live. Throughout these years, Hob has worked as a soldier and has taken part in several wars. Dream inquires whether Hob has reconsidered his decision about embracing death, but Hob declines the offer once again. Dream acknowledges his choice and declares that they shall meet again in another 100 years. In 1589, Dream and Hob meet once again, but this time Hob's life has taken a prosperous turn. Hob has established a highly successful business and has even been granted knighthood, making him a prominent member of the English elite. He proudly informs Dream that he is acquainted with the Queen of England herself. Furthermore, Hob reveals that he has taken a wife and has become a father, marking a significant milestone after 2 centuries. However, Dream's attention is diverted by the presence of another man, none other than William Shakespeare. Intrigued by this encounter, Dream leaves Hob to engage in a secret discussion with the famous playwright, while Hob eagerly looks forward to another century of life. 100 years later, Dream returns to the familiar tavern, only to find that Hob is missing. It becomes apparent that Hob's life has taken a drastic turn for the worse during the past century. He has fallen into destitution and has become a drunkard, which resulted in him being barred from entering the pub. However, upon Dream's insistence, Hob is allowed inside. Hob's fortune has vanished, and he now lives in abject poverty. Tragedy has struck his life as well. His wife died during childbirth shortly after their previous meeting, and his son met an untimely demise at the age of 20 during a bar fight. Additionally, due to his prolonged stay in the same town, Hob has been subjected to constant attacks by its inhabitants, who falsely believed him to be a witch. Undoubtedly, Hob has despised every minute of the past century. In the midst of Hob's grim circumstances, Dream wonders if he has finally decided to embrace death. After a brief pause, Hob smiles and defiantly states that he will continue living. Despite the hardships and suffering, Hob chooses to persevere, displaying a resilient spirit that surprises Dream. In 1789, Dream and Hob have their next encounter, and Hob has once again regained some of his fortune through engagement in the slave trade. Dream is greatly surprised and disturbed by this revelation, struggling to comprehend why humans would enslave one another. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the unexpected arrival of Johanna Constantine, a relative of John Constantine, a renowned magician in the DC universe. Johanna discloses that rumors have circulated about the meetings between the so-called Wandering Jew and the devil in this very pub every 100 years, and she has spent 2 years planning to confront them. Both Dream and Hob deny being either of those beings, leaving Johanna perplexed. Determined to uncover their true nature, she demands answers. Dream, employing his powers, uses sand to incapacitate Johanna, filling her mind with dreams of those she has wronged in the past. Before parting ways, Dream advises Hob to abandon the slave trade, perhaps signaling a shift in his perspective. Their subsequent encounter in 1889 proves to be a pivotal one. As Dream arrives at the pub on a dark night, one of the patrons jokingly refers to him as Jack the Ripper. Amidst their conversation, Hob leans in and proposes that there is more to their recurring meetings than Dream's purported interest in witnessing the fate of immortal humans. Hob realizes that, despite living for 500 years, he hasn't significantly grown wiser and doubts he will ever seek death. He surmises that Dream must have known this from the beginning, and suggests that the reason Dream returns every century is friendship. Hob believes that Dream is lonely, seeking companionship through their encounters. Indignant at the notion, Dream storms off, asserting that he would never stoop so low as to seek the company of a mortal out of loneliness. However, as Hob calls after him, he declares that if they meet again in 100 years, it will be because they are friends. Unbeknownst to Hob, in the 20th century, Dream would endure imprisonment by a group of occultists for approximately 70 years. During his captivity, Dream reflects deeply on his role in the universe and his relationships with mortal beings. Fortunately, he manages to escape before their next meeting. In the year 1989, Hob sits in the bar smoking a cigarette while young people dance and discuss pressing issues such as the AIDS epidemic. He looks up to find Dream standing there and admits that he wasn't certain if Dream would come. Dream responds with a smile and states that it is impolite to keep one's friends waiting.